Strength is Weakness, The True Power of Vulnerability, Episode 69. Welcome to Heal from the Ground Up. I'm your host, Michael Hsu. I help people become pain-free by healing the root cause and transforming themselves through the pain. Are you ready to heal and transform your emotions, relationship, family, and career from the ground up? The world, our society, greatly admires strength. It puts strength on a pedestal. And as far as weakness, we look down upon weakness. We think it's a bad thing, as well as vulnerability. But the truth is this: strength is weakness, and weakness is strength, because vulnerability is true strength. It is much easier to avoid how we feel than it is to face our feelings and to feel our feelings and to feel our pain. That is much more difficult, but it is the most rewarding. Every time you avoid how you feel, you're going down a highway of more pain and suffering, because suffering is the avoidance of pain. So let's say you're running and you accidentally trip and fall and you scrape your entire leg against the asphalt, causing your blood to be gushing out. Yeah, you can be strong. I'm a strong person. But if you just let it go, if you ignore it, you say, you know what? I'm strong. I don't need any help. I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need any stitches. You're going to bleed to death. So you got to be able to feel your pain to do something about it. And it's really interesting because look at our world. We admire bodybuilders. It's all about strength, building muscle, which is important and it's healthy. It's good. But sometimes I hear clients, they use their muscular figure as a way to command authority, as a protective shield, an emotional shield, so they don't have to be vulnerable with others. So they don't have to show how they really feel with others. So they can hide behind their muscular figure so they don't have to acknowledge their feelings. And they can protect their feelings from other people. And let's look at parents. You have one parent who's very affectionate, empathetic to their child, but you have the other parent who's all about strength. And they don't want the other parent to quote unquote coddle their child because they fear that it will make them weak. And if you're weak, you're more likely to be hurt by others. And they think being strong, for the child to be strong, they are protecting themselves, protecting the child from being hurt. Another good example is culturally. Maybe culturally, it is highly emphasized that strength is a good thing and weakness is a bad thing. This is something I often hear in, for example, Mexican culture, that it's not good to be vulnerable. It is weak. You have to be a man. You have to be strong. And even women in Mexican culture, like I'm not saying for all cases, but I've seen cases where a woman who was raised by a Mexican father who was all about being strong and that feelings were wrong, and they have a tremendously difficult time connecting with their feelings because they think it's weak. They can't even acknowledge the trauma of their parents' behavior. It could be abandoning them. It could be their physically or emotionally abusive behavior because that would make them weak. It's crazy how the conditioning of a culture can prevent you from acknowledging the true depths, the true pain of your parents' hurtful behavior because you would quote unquote be weak if you would acknowledge any kind of pain. And another way people use strength is through self-affirmations. They will tell themselves, like, I am capable of anything. I am a successful person. I am a worthy person. I am a good person, because they want to combat the feelings of uselessness and worthlessness and believing that they are not a good person and believing that they are a bad person. But that feeling, although there's no truth in it, there's 0% truth in it, it comes from the inner child. And the inner child was made to feel that way. And that inner child wants you to acknowledge their feelings and experiences as far as why they were made to feel that way. But instead of acknowledging your inner child, you keep them locked in that dark basement and you just tell yourself, I am strong. I'm a strong person. I'm a worthy person. I'm a good person. I'm a successful person. I'm a capable person. I'm a confident person. And you tell all these things. And do you know what the emotional effect that has on your inner child? You're telling them, I'm sorry, I don't acknowledge you. You're weak. Your pain is not real. Your pain is a sign of weakness. Go away. Go away. And you keep them locked in that dark basement and you throw the key away. You understand? We use self affirmations and positivity as another form of strength, and it's so insidious. It's another way to invalidate yourself. It is another way, in all honesty, to gaslight yourself. It's sick. It is sick. It's like you got shot and you're bleeding to death and you're telling yourself, yeah, everything's fine. I'm pain free. No, it's a quick fix to remedying the problem, but you're only treating it at the surface. So let's say a parent who is triggered by their child not listening to them, they try to practice peace, they try to practice gentle parenting, and they try to listen, which is great, but they're not acknowledging how their child who's not listening to them at that moment is bringing up feelings that they don't matter, that they're worthless, and they're not sourcing it back to their inner child. So, yes, by misusing positivity, by misusing strength in this way, you are abandoning your inner child. You are gaslighting them. One of the craziest or most insidious ways in which we use strength or misuse strength to bulldoze through how we feel is that you can be in a toxic situation, you can be in a toxic relationship, and you are just using strength to bulldoze through how you feel, but you can't take it anymore. Maybe your partner is putting you down, criticizing you, always making you feel like you're not good enough, and you use strength to bulldoze through how you feel. Maybe your partner has a lot of insecurities and keep on accusing you that you're cheating on them when that's completely not the case, but yet you use strength to bulldoze through how you feel, and you try to be strong for many, many years of all this emotional abuse, emotional terrorizing, and you just can't take it anymore. And now you feel quote unquote weak. All this emotion and pain is coming to the surface because the strength is no longer working anymore. You're bottling in for all these years, and now you're exploding in pain, exploding in suffering. And the thing is, you have used strength your whole life since you were a child to compartmentalize, to sever yourself from how you feel. You use strength as an act of emotional suicide to kill off your feelings. Because obviously, what's happening in your relationship is you probably reliving your childhood, and through all the emotional or narcissistic abuse that your partner is doing to you, and you're just telling yourself, you're reaffirming with yourself, you know what? I am a worthy person. I am a capable person. If they put you down and they criticize you, like, I'm a capable person. I'm a successful person. Or you're telling yourself, I'm a worthy person. I'm a good person. You're ignoring the traumatic behavior of your partner and being completely complicit with it, but also you using strength by telling yourself these affirmations that you are a good person, that you are a capable person, is just a way to combat how you already feel. You actually feel that you are useless. You feel like you're worthless. You feel like you shouldn't exist. You feel all these feelings. And you're using strength to not only compartmentalize what your partner's behavior is doing to you, but you're also shutting up your inner child because your inner child's feeling is coming up to the surface so he or she can be acknowledged. Her or his feelings and experiences and traumas and tragedies and abuse can be acknowledged so they can feel seen and heard. But instead of that, you just reaffirm yourself saying that, oh, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm strong, I know who I am, none of this really affect me. And so you not only abandon yourself in the relationship by having no boundaries, but you abandon your inner child because your inner child is coming up to you saying, please acknowledge me. And yes, your coping mechanism of using strength to bulldoze through how you feel is rooted and originated from what you did as a child. You as a child, you had to compartmentalize, you had to sever yourself from your feelings and from your pain, from the severe emotional neglect, from the severe emotional and narcissistic abuse. You had to do that in order to numb yourself from the pain of your parents' hurtful behavior. And now, so you attracted a relationship that is making you feel what you felt as a child, but you had effectively compartmentalized it. However, that pain needs to be acknowledged, needs to feel seen and heard in order to cure that pain. So, what does that mean? That means take off the emotional armor of strength, take it off and step into your real power, which is a vulnerability. Vulnerability is about practicing emotional closeness with your feelings and your inner child. Don't misuse strength in this way. And always know that true strength is vulnerability, it is feeling your feelings. You created this whole facade that I am strong. I am a strong person. That's how you identify yourself. But by doing that, you have effectively disowned yourself. You are constantly committing emotional suicide. Don't be strong in that way. Be strong through vulnerability. Be strong by feeling your feelings and feeling the depths of your feelings and the depths of your pain. Be strong by feeling the pain of your inner child. That's what true strength is. Don't use strength as a blinder so you can't see the emotional reality and the emotional abuse of your current situation, of your partner. And don't use strength to bulldoze and compartmentalize the feelings of your inner child and thereby abandoning them. Go within. Go within. That is your true strength. Your feelings are your source of strength, not your source of weakness. Because when I ask clients, what's your relationship to vulnerability? What is your relationship to feelings? Well, they'll say feelings are a form of weakness. To feel is to be weak. We've got it all wrong. Feelings and the act of feeling is our source of power, infinite power, infinite and limitless power. We become unstoppable. We could become invincible when we simply connect and feel what we feel. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, I have a whole library of resources on my online community. You can check that out on heal, Heal, from the groundup.com. I'm currently doing a 7-day free trial, so you definitely want to check that out.